it makes me upset when I see people let this just scroll by and don't take advantage of it.
Hey up my ducks, it's me Charlie, and I'm back again with a new episode of Dear Society. If you're new here, then hi, lovely to meet you. Like I say, my name's Charlie, and if you're returning, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Like I say, if you are new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button if you like my content. If you don't like it, that's fine, give it a thumbs down. But today I am going to be talking all about cults. It's something that has fascinated me for such a long time, and if you don't already know, I do have a background in psychology. So I did psychology at A-levels, and I'm actually in my final year of a psychology and counselling degree. I've just got one more module to complete, which I'll be restarting again in October, fingers crossed, if my surgeries go ahead. When I sort of got out of an MLM, which was very cult-like, I started noticing more and more similarities between MLMs and cults. So I thought, it would be interesting to make this video to have a little talk about cults and see if there are any similarities between multi-level marketing schemes and cults. Yeah, let's have a little look and see what we find. Now, I can't speak for all MLMs, but I can share my experiences from the one that I was in, and it was very cult-like. Now I've done more research, it definitely was a cult. So I'm going to explain a bit more about this throughout the video. So what are cults? In modern English, a cult is a social group that is defined by its unusual religious, spiritual or philosophical beliefs, or by its common interest in a particular personality, object or goal. The members have a blind faith to their leaders. The leader always seems to have sort of like a godlike complex. They want to be adored, and they want to ultimately to grow their following. The cult leaders are quite often massive narcissists, which by definition means that they've got an inflated sense of importance and minimise people's feelings. Some cults that you may have heard of are the Manson Family. So Charles Manson, he was the leader of that cult.
Name synonymous with terror and violence.
The Church of Scientology, Heaven's Gate, that's quite a famous cult, but there were so many different types of cult. And like I say, some are around religion, some are around specific people, and some are out to get all your money. So now I've just said all that, like, why would we worship those people?
He robbed us from our parents, and he gave us back to ourselves.
Like, they don't sound like very nice personality traits or desirable traits to have. Why would we want to worship that kind of person? So, like I say, I've done my research and I'm going to share with you my findings and what I've discovered. And then we can go through it and let me know what you think below, because I always read the comments. So what did I find out? We as humans have a desire to be comfortable. We don't like change and we like to be comfortable. That's why people call it the comfort zone. And of course we like to be comfortable during hard and uncertain times. And what have we just been through? We are still going through like a global pandemic, which has been some of the hardest and most uncertain times of people's lives. In my opinion, this is why MLMs have gotten so big over sort of the past year to 18 months, because we've been going through uncertain times. People aren't feeling comfortable. It's been difficult times for people, and multi-level marketing schemes have sort of like hooked onto this and used this to get people involved. And to me, that's not okay. Leaders usually promise like completely unobtainable things like time freedom.
If you want more time with your children.
Financial security.
That if you want more income.
Impeccable health. Eternal life. Things like some of the things that these cults promise. They're just gonna happen. People with a lower self-esteem are more likely to be persuaded by a cult environment. Research done in the past 2 decades has found an interesting pattern. Many people successfully recruited by cults are said to have had low self-esteem. I guess people with lower self-esteem are easier to break down, easier to manipulate. Have you heard of the term of breaking a horse? They literally call it breaking a horse when they're breaking a horse to get them to stop riding it. That's what like they're doing to these people. They're breaking them down and then building them back up in an effort to show them that the cult is the supportive environment that they have been looking for.
I think obviously like the relationships like with everyone, like that is like the friendships, like that is 100% like the main thing.
And what happens when new people join? They are love bombed. Love bombing is a form of mental manipulation. People get complimented, flattered, given so much praise and made to feel like they're really part of like this fantastic community.
And the third one is Charlie Harris, who is an absolute powerhouse. She's just storming the business and taking it so seriously. And she hit silver this week. So massive congratulations to you all.
Like I say, this is a form of emotional manipulation, and it's actually training the brain to associate the cult with feeling love and acceptance and security. Women make up a huge 70% of cult members. Now, this is something that I also noticed in multi-level marketing schemes. A lot of the people are women. I think it's probably higher than 70% actually are women involved in multi-level marketing schemes. However, most of the CEOs and also most of the cult leaders happen to be male. They maintain their power by promoting an us versus them mentality.
I had 3 business partners and my mum and dad that told me I should cancel, and my friends that told me I was stupid.
So like in the cult, out the cult. They get that power by isolating members and then convincing them that the cult and those in the cult are superior to others. It then leads to replacing relationships. So relationships outside the cult are sort of abandoned and left and replaced with relationships inside the cult with other members of the cult. So your friends and things are now the cult members. And as a result, that completely isolates you from anyone outside of the cult. Cult leaders are masters at manipulation and mind control. They can usually persuade members to part with like huge sums of money or separate themselves from the rest of society, give up personal possessions, buy whatever it is they're promoting, and sometimes even losing huge sums of money. When you're in a cult, you don't normally know that you're in a cult. Might look really obvious to everyone else from the outside in, but those involved do not realise the power that this cult has over them. I know I certainly didn't when I was part of the cult. And it can have long-term psychological effects. I know me myself, I only got out of an MLM about 6 months ago, and I'm still really like only just discovering certain things that I'd like been lied to about and stuff. And I find it really difficult to make new friends now. I think everyone's got an ulterior motive, or I just think they're not interested in me really. So yeah, cult victims can have to go through therapy and things for years and years, and it can take such a long time to overcome the emotional damage that the cults have caused. According to Freedom of Mind, a destructive cult is a pyramid-shaped authoritarian regime with a personal group of people that have dictatorial control. Uses deception to recruit new members and does not tell them what the group is, what the group actually believes, and what will be expected of them if they become members. It also uses undue influence to keep people dependent, obedient, and loyal. Again, I can relate to that in terms of the MLM that I was in. I joined thinking I was going to be a travel agent, and instead I was sort of flung into this no excuses environment, was pushed to recruit loads of people, nothing to do with being a travel agent. I'd be going on these calls and thinking, this isn't what I signed up to do, but because I've been love bombed and everything, and I thought that I'd got this community of like lovely people, I didn't really question it that much. I just thought, oh, this is what we do, you know, everyone else is doing this and everyone's really happy, it's gotta be right. You just totally like lose yourself. This then moves me on to my next point, which is the bite model. So Stephen Hassan actually developed the bite model to describe the specific methods that cults use to recruit and maintain control over people. So BITE stands for behaviour control, information control, thought control, and emotional control. I'm going to go through these with you and let you know if I experienced any of this in my MLM. B, behaviour control, regulation of individuals' physical reality. So sort of controlling what clothes they wear, what food they eat, how much sleep someone has, financial dependence, little or no time spent on leisure and entertainment and vacation, major time commitment required for indoctrination sessions and group rituals. So the time commitment, yeah, like there were so many calls that we were supposed to have got on, and then every week we would have to get on the Sunday call, because that was kind of like, I guess if people did get on the Sunday call and didn't have the more brainwashing going on, then they'd sort of fall off the fence and might realise it was a bit culty and leave. I don't know, but yeah, it's just to keep the brainwashing going. Get on this call on a Sunday. They need to ask permissions for major decisions, to report thoughts, feelings and activities to superiors. Reward and punishment. Yeah, so reward and punishment, like if somebody was doing really well, like if they recruited people, you know, you'd get so much praise for it, and then if you didn't get on a call, it'd be, oh well, you don't sacrifice for what you want, and what you want becomes a sacrifice. Individualism is discouraged. Completely agree with that. I mean, we all had like Facebook cover photo was like of us, and then like the logo of our community. Looking back, that was so culty. Rigid rules and regulations. Yeah, you can't say certain things, you can't post certain things, you can't do certain things, you can't tell people that you're feeling negative or whatever. Need for obedience and dependency. So yeah, again, obedience, dependency. If you start to ask questions like I did, you start to, you know, you're not being obedient, people start to be funny with you. Information control. So use of deception, deliberately holding back information, distorting information, outright lying. I was deceived when I got involved. I wasn't told the truth. I wasn't told half the truth. Access to non-court sources of information minimised or discouraged. So they don't want you to watch videos of people like me, former members see critical information. They don't want, as you probably saw in the other video, they don't want people doing any research or Googling. They want to keep people busy all the time so they don't have time to think. Yeah, I completely get that. No free time, you know, we shouldn't be watching Netflix or Love Island. Compartmentalisation of information. So outsider versus insider doctrine. So information is not freely accessible. Information varies at different levels, missions within the pyramid, and leadership decides who needs to know what. Agree with this. As I said, I was classed as like a leader in my thing, and as I got to a leader, I got added into a special new chat for the leaders, and we were told certain things before other people, and oh, you know, you had a bit of importance there. Spying on other members is encouraged. Pairing up with a buddy system to monitor and control, reporting deviant thoughts, feelings and actions to leadership. So yeah, like I say, we were sort of told to have like accountability partners. So yeah, buddy systems. Extensive use of cult generated information, propaganda, magazine journals. So yeah, audio tapes. So we watched the videos of them speaking, or we'd listen to the podcasts of people that they told us to listen to. Unethical use of confession. So not necessarily sins as such, but they definitely use like weaknesses to manipulate and control. So they would use our why to manipulate and control us, or if we didn't get on a call, they would try and use that to manipulate and control us. Then we've got thought control.
Thoughts are the craziest things. Thoughts are things that can either make you or break you. Thoughts are things that can either build you up or literally break you down.
So they need to internalize the group's doctrine as truth. That's it, yeah, believe everything that they tell you. That is the truth. It's black and white thinking. It's right and wrong. It's good and bad. It's us and them. To adopt loaded language. Words are the tools we use to think with. These special words constrict rather than expand understanding. They function to reduce complexities of experiences, to try buzzwords. Yeah, so I've spoken before about MLM buzzwords like ground floor opportunity, residual income, coachability, which actually means brainwashable. Only good and proper thoughts are encouraged. So yeah, like I said, we were told like, oh, no one would know if I was having a bad day on social media. That's what the lady at the top used to always try and tell us. My team wouldn't know. I could be having the worst day ever and my team wouldn't know. Thought-stopping techniques to shut down reality testing by stopping negative thoughts and allowing only good thoughts. Toxic positivity, rejection of rational analysis, critical thinking, constructive criticism. So like I just said, that's all toxic positivity. This all taught you to suppress your negative emotions, put them aside, because the more you think them, the more you're going to get. Push them aside and only think positively. Obviously that doesn't work. And I'll be completely honest, when I actually left the MLM and I stopped pushing all my thoughts back, I ended up having like a really bad sort of breakdown because I had like suppressed so many things for so long. Denial, rationalization, justification, and wishful thinking. So they tried to say it's the compound effect, but no, it's not. It's wishful thinking. Chanting, so we have that on our calls. We used to read affirmations and things, meditate, and we had meditation calls. We didn't necessarily have praying, speaking in tongues, singing, humming. So we didn't have those, but we did have a lot of like the thought-stopping techniques. No critical questions about leader doctrine or policy seen as legitimate. Very true. You asked like, tried to speak to a leader about how they got to where they were or whatever. It's like you shouldn't be asking that. There's no secret formula. Do you know what I mean? It's all very secretive. No alternative belief systems are viewed as legitimate, good, or useful. And finally, we have emotional control. So this is you to manipulate and narrow the range of someone's feelings, make them feel like if there's ever problems, it's always their fault, never the leaders or the groups. What a surprise. So the example of this, when my commission was wrong, when my team's commission was wrong, and I went to my upline, my leader, no one else's is wrong. You must have done something wrong, you know, it was always me. And when there were things that people weren't happy with within the community, I brought those up to the leader. Oh my word, I should never have done that. It was my fault. It was always my fault. Everything's always turned out to be my fault. Even now I've left and 99% of people who enter MLMs fail. No, the reason I failed was because I didn't put the work in according to these people. Because like it just said on the other one, justification of things is in the thought control area. Excessive use of guilt. Oh my word. So much guilt about who you are, so you're not living up to potential. I get this all the time. Charlie, I know that you can do this. I know you're going to be my next director. The others haven't got it, but you've got it. And then you feel guilty. I'd come off calls and I'd be like, what am I doing wrong? Why am I not doing enough? I'm putting like 60 hours a week, all my time into this, but I'm not getting anywhere. And I was made to think it was my fault. I could always put more into it. Excessive use of fear. So, fear of enemies, the outside world. Anyone that's not in the cult is pretty much an enemy. Fear of leaving the group or being shunned by the group. So yeah, when I was in it, people go, why didn't you leave then? Well, I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to leave and not be friends with all these people. And it's hard to explain because you think, well, they're not your real friends, and no, they're not your real friends. But when you're in it, you don't know that. You don't realise that. It's so weird. Extremes of emotional highs and lows, a lot of that. Ritual and often public confession of sin. So again, like I say, not necessarily like biblical sins, but we'd sit on calls on a Sunday and be like, have these reflection calls, so we talk about the good things that happened, and then we'd all write down what we could do better, what we could improve on. That was our sin then, wasn't it? And the leaders would see all this. So, and we'd write our why and stuff in these boxes as well. So the leaders had full access to all this, and then they could use this against us. Phobia Indoctrination. So irrational fears of ever leaving the group or questioning the leader's authority. The person under mind control cannot visualise a positive, fulfilled future without being in the group. And that was me. I literally could not see my life not being in this community of people until I left. And I was like, what on earth? You sort of taught that there's no happiness or fulfillment outside of the group. There will be really terrible consequences will take place if you leave. Incurable diseases. And for people like myself who I do suffer with mental health issues. So, and I have severe anxiety and panic attacks and stuff. And I have an incurable disease. So then I start to think, oh my God, did I get an incurable disease because of something wrong I did in a past life? Will it get worse for me? And then accidents, I've had loads of accidents since I left. You know what I mean? It still does affect me. Shunning of leave takers, fear of being rejected by friends, peers and family. So yeah, if somebody's not working hard, we will shun them. And I tell you now, on a Wednesday we used to have a leaders call, and if somebody had been on a night out or something, or been to the pub or whatever, obviously like pre-lockdown, they'd done something that wasn't to do with the business, they would be shunned on our leaders call. Like that, boop. We saw she was out last week, so she obviously isn't taking it seriously. And I'd be embarrassed if I wouldn't get on a call, so I'd make sure I got on all the calls, because I didn't want somebody saying horrible things about me behind my back, like my upline used to do about everyone else. From the group's perspective, so there is never a legitimate reason to leave, never. From the group's perspective, people who leave are weak, undisciplined, unspiritual, worldly, brainwashed by family or listening to counsellors, seduced by money, gave up on their dreams. I've been told that one a lot of the time. Not one of us wanted to see you fail, Charlie, but here we are. Well, I'm not failing, am I?
Guys, I am so excited. First of all, can we get a whoop whoop, because we have maxed out this call tonight. 1,000 people off the team showing up on a Sunday night. There's loads of people messaging saying that they can't get on. Snooze, you lose. So well done to those of you who turned up 30 minutes early and have been sat on Zoom for all of this time. I'm going to rattle through some training. Congratulations to every single person that number one got shouted out tonight, but number two turned up on this call like you do every single Sunday to clap for other people. If you're somebody that can clap for others, when that clap comes for you, it's gonna feel so goddamn good. Successful people do not go out and change the process. Successful people do what other successful people have done. They put it on repeat and they retell the same story. Thoughts are things that can either make you or break you. Thoughts are things that can either build you up or literally break you down. And you know what the craziest thing is? Sometimes the most critical people in our lives are actually ourselves. And when I think about who's harder on themselves, me, my family and friends, my partner, or somebody else, the answer is me. Me. I am so hard on myself. And in life, there's two different types of people. The people that are really, really hard on themselves, and then the people that are victims to other people's opinions. Now, I would rather be really, really hard on myself than be a victim to other people's opinions. But on tonight's fiery training, I'm going to quickly run through why your thoughts are so important and how you can actually control them and how you can actually use them to your advantage. Now, you need to be really careful what you tell yourself on a day-to-day basis. Not just a day-to-day basis, an hourly basis, a secondly basis. Now, a lot of the time, the thoughts that you have are subconscious. I challenge you to be conscious about what you're thinking about. Decide what you're going to allow to flow through your skull and out the other side. Don't let your thoughts be subconscious.
You've got the top rate money, so you panic that you're not going to get there because people above you are getting all the money. It's not how it works. It's network marketing. The whole point of it is freedom. Everybody gets a slice. But please, honestly, just evaluate that.
I achieved everything that I set out to achieve in just the 12 months from a personal level. I wanted to be able to have more money than I've ever had before and allow me and my partner to not have to work on everybody else's terms, and I've done that. But I generally want to tell you guys who are sat on this call that
honestly, because the good thing about network marketing, guys, is it gives everybody the opportunity to live to their potential. It gives every single person the opportunity to get where they want to be if they want to put the work in. But some people just think it's a get rich quick scheme, and unfortunately that's the harsh reality of why most people quit, because they forget that you've actually got to put work in if you're going to be successful in life, and that's absolutely fine.
it's an amazing business, okay? If you want to just do the ITA side of things, there's not that many people doing it. Every single person travels.
Travel and helping other people, you can change your life and you can also change other people's. Fact, right? How incredible is that? Anyway.
It makes me upset when I see people let this just scroll by and don't take advantage of it. What this opportunity can do for you is, I can't even put it into words, you just have to be brave enough to say yes. And generally, you have to sit there and ask yourself, what is the worst thing that's going to
that I always say to the team, and it's, if you do not sacrifice for what you want, then what you want will become the sacrifice. And I want you guys to repeat that. I'm really let that drill in. If you don't make sacrifices for what you want, then what you want will become the sacrifice. If you can't give up life as it is right now and make them sacrifices to get where it is that you want to be, yeah, if you still want to watch Netflix, chill out, do the things that you do now, live the life that you've got now and have it as comfortable as you have it, you will not get what you want. You have to make the sacrifices, guys. And
got loads of followers, like it's easy for her, but honestly, like I swear it's the complete opposite, because I swear I just spend most of my time like trying to convince people that you don't actually need to have a big following to do this business. Like it scares so many people off.
I'd like to know what you think. In my opinion, I was in a cult. 99% of the things I've just spoken about there, I can relate to being in that MLM. Both the whole travel thing, like both TPL and Palm Trees and Paychecks, they were both very culty. I mean, we left TPL to Palm Trees and Paychecks because it was culty and created an even more cult-like system, if you ask my opinion. Anyway, so that's all for today, folks. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed this one because, like, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm obviously really passionate about like psychology and stuff. I absolutely love this kind of stuff. I love looking into cults and stuff. So if you want to see more cult videos, you can go into deep dive into some cults, or we can deep dive into some other MLMs and things. Let me know what you want to see. Remember, if you haven't already, then please make sure that you subscribe, like the video if you liked it, pop me a comment if you enjoyed it. If you didn't like it, give me a thumbs down. And also, I just want to say, the weekend, sorry that this video is a day late, I actually did my very first craft fair at the weekend with my small candle business. I have updated the website. It's got lots of new stock on there. If you use code TikTok, you will get 10% off on my website. It's www.candlesatheart.com. Please take a look. I'd really appreciate it. Yeah, so sending love and light to you all, and I'll see you for a new video soon.